We're going to show you a very simple demonstration of instant runoff voting, also known as ranked choice voting. We have an election with three candidates, Steve, Mike, and Janice. With ranked choice voting, you choose your first place vote, your second place vote, and your third place vote. If no one gets a majority in the first round, the candidate with the lowest number of votes is dropped, and their ballots get shuffled to the second place choice. In this case, Janice has the least number of votes of 29, so she is eliminated and her votes get shuffled to Mike. Steve has 39 votes, Mike now has 59 votes, and Mike is the winner of this instant runoff voting election. The newspapers were very excited and immediately congratulated Mayor Mike. Signs around town popped up congratulating Mayor Mike and that the instant runoff voting algorithm worked. But then something happened. Election staff found votes that had not yet been counted stuck in the bottom of a ballot box. These two votes listed Janice in first place and Mike in second. They did not list a third choice. I guess they really didn't want Steve to win. The election staff had to add these votes to the other ballots and recount. With two new ballots, Janice now has 31 votes, and because Mike only got 30, he is eliminated and his votes get shuffled to the voter's second place choice, which is Steve. So Steve gets Mike's votes, and now he has 69 votes, with Janice at 31. And Steve is now the winner? The addition of two votes that didn't even list Steve changed the results so Steve could win. So these votes actually hurt the people that they had voted for. Let's recap. In the first results, Steve had 39 votes and Mike had 59, so Mike wins. By adding just two votes that didn't even list Steve, he now wins with 69 votes? How can this be? It's all because of the complex vote shuffling that occurs with the instant runoff voting's mathematical algorithm to count the ballots. Why? Because you just can't count instant runoff ballots like traditional ballots. You don't just add them up. To count them, you need to understand the mathematical algorithm used to shuffle the votes. Minnesota's Supreme Court ruled because of this, all experts agree instant runoff voting could lead to a situation in which a voter's vote for a particular candidate harms rather than helps the candidate. Your vote should always help your candidate win, not help them lose. It certainly is not as simple as 1, 2, 3. The problem was described in great detail in a peer-reviewed paper published by Professor Ornstein of the University of Michigan and Professor Norman of Dartmouth College. They write, "It has long been recognized that instant runoff voting suffers from a defect wherein increasing support for a candidate may adversely affect that candidate's election outcome, meaning your vote for a candidate can hurt them." In another recently peer-reviewed publication, Professor Miller from the University of Maryland writes, "A striking attribute of instant runoff voting is getting more first preference votes can cause a candidate to lose an election, and getting fewer votes can cause a candidate to win. There is something wrong with a vote-counting algorithm where getting less votes can make you win. It just doesn't make sense." In closing, it seems like the governor of California knew a lot about this when he vetoed ranked choice voting in California. He writes, "In a time when we want to encourage more voter participation, we need to keep voting simple. Ranked choice voting is overly complicated and confusing. I believe it deprives voters of genuinely informed choice."